Host, Attorney Jerome Pay. Live TV talk on your digital device on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man, Jerome, with me.
What's up, Daryl?
Man, another day in the neighborhood.
Yes, this is a different day because it's cold in the mud.
Man, the hawk is out there, boy. So, man, this is gonna be one of those days, man.
Yes.
You know. Man.
You know, and that's the way it is here in Memphis. If you just wait a couple of days, we'll be right back in the sunshine. So you just got to get through this. And it's serious too, because we're gonna be in single digits.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, we got to give our shout outs.
Absolutely.
You know, shout out to California. Shout out to Arkansas, Little Rock. Shout out to West Memphis, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Memphis, Shelby County. Shout out to
Down the road.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Shout out to Missouri. So we got to get with it because we got a lot of stuff to cover today.
That's right.
All right. Oh,
You didn't announce the one we can be seen at there.
if you want to watch the show,
Yes.
or if you want to call in and ask questions, you can call in live. If you're on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Roku, Fire Stick, or the SVP TV Network app.
Man, that's a lot of ways.
Man, it's a lot of ways.
There's no excuse for them not watching.
And here's the thing, regardless of what we're talking about, we'll answer any question on any issue.
Absolutely.
So, so don't think because, and today we're going to talk about bankruptcy.
Okay.
And we were finishing it up with talking about bankruptcy last time, and we didn't get through. We kind of digressed slightly, but.
Well, I had just done some open heart surgery. Remember, I told you I felt like a surgeon many times as we cut our way through navigating a person's personal situation and business situations too, because that's what it's designed to do, Daryl. We call it, and you said it the other day, a fresh start. That's what the goal is to get you to your fresh start. But you got to come in order to get it done.
Well, and Jerome, I think when we were talking about it, one of the things that I tried, and we always got to make sure everybody knows, especially the audience knows, that there is no stigma and no shame to filing bankruptcy.
Absolutely, you sure did. You brought that up last time. Yeah.
They during one of the debates when Donald Trump was the president.
Right.
One of the debates was they were talking bad about the fact that he had filed business bankruptcy on 2 different occasions.
Numerous times.
And he flippantly said, "You can't be mad because I am taking advantage of the system."
Right.
And that's how he saw it.
Right.
It's the system, and what he was doing was taking advantage of the system. And so if a president or a person that's running or becomes the president believes that there's no stigma to filing bankruptcy, if you got issues, you shouldn't feel that way.
Well, there is a stigma, and the stigma is most of the time people wait too long before they come in.
Right.
And so by the time they come in, they're drowning. We don't want you going down the 3rd time, because and that's why. Well, and I'm glad I said that there too, because the system is designed to even help you once you've gone down the 3rd time, because anything that happened within the 90 days prior to you filing is affected by a bankruptcy case. And the reach is so broad there until you don't necessarily even have to be in the site of, that's the legal term. Where it occurred at, if you have property in another state,
Bless you.
can be affected by bankruptcy by something called the automatic stay. What that means is that once you come in to an attorney and sit down and have what we call the interview. Okay? When you have the interview, that means, and Daryl, I say this to all of my clients, regardless to whether I've known them for a day or I just met them or 10 years, that the most important thing is that you be completely honest, open, and truthful about your situation. Because how can I analyze what's going on, and how can I respond to somebody like Daryl O'Neal who files an objection to your case by bringing up some information that you never discussed with me?
Well, and see, Jerome, and that's, that's the thing about the bankruptcy. If you're going to fresh start,
Yes.
or you're going to put yourself in a position or you're going to put yourself in a better position, then the one thing that you don't want to do is start that position off with a lie.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if you got bad stuff that's out there, or you got things that you need to, this is one of those things, and I hate to say this because it's probably blasphemous. You got to have a come to Jesus meeting.
Oh, no.
You
I say it all the time.
you got to basically be honest with yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, you got 2 cars. Like Herm Edwards used to stay on Sports Center to the new rookies coming in the NFL. You got 3 houses. You can't live in but one. You only need 1 house. You got 3 cars. You can't drive but one. You only need 1.
Exactly.
You got the Mr. T starter kit. You don't need, you can take half those chains off. And that's the same thing with bankruptcy.
Absolutely.
If you got, you got to get down to what it is that you need and what it is that you can afford.
Well, and I'm glad you said that too, because one of the requirements for a person to maintain an item in a bankruptcy is that it be necessary for a reasonable reorganization. So 2 cars are not necessary for one individual. You follow me?
Right.
Now, unfortunately, though, sometimes in our area there, it really does take 2 cars, because you don't never know which one's going to start.
Yeah.
You follow me?
That's sad, but yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? And so sometimes, and then if you can just articulate it, why do you need 2 cars? Well, one of them is trustworthy, but there's another one that I'm just not sure whether or not I can get back and forth to work. And I work 3rd shift. And so who wants to be out on the street in the middle of the night stranded?
Well, but that shouldn't hurt you as much, and that shouldn't be that much of a concern, because you have a car that maybe not trustworthy. Maybe you probably not having any payments on that car.
That's another excellent point.
Yeah, you may have a car that you are making payments on, then you got a car that you're not making payments on.
That's an excellent point.
And the car that you're not making payments on that's paid off is your backup car, just in case something goes wrong with the car that you're making.
And Darren, I'm glad you said that too as well, because and so the stigma, so to speak, comes from, in the auto repair world, we talk about shade tree mechanics. But the stigma in bankruptcy is the shade tree bankruptcy informer. The people who tell the person, I wouldn't do that. Dude, I wouldn't do that. And I tell people all the time there, bankruptcy was never designed to hurt you.
Right.
It's designed to help you. So much so, Daryl, until you could have $10,000 in cash, merchandise, or goods, and no one could take it away from you. So, in other words, we know that a person who is freshly reorganized will need something
To start. They need some start. Yeah.
And so, and they take it into consideration. And so, and I tell people too, Daryl, that we call it relief from the moment that a bankruptcy case is filed by the automatic stay. Because prior to that, this person has absolutely lived in a nightmare world. Can you imagine? I haven't been able to sleep because I keep looking out the window.
Wonder when my car gonna get repossessed. Wonder when the guys gonna come out there and
I gotta go to work.
Yeah. I gotta go to work, and I gotta park between the trees and between 2 cars.
Exactly. Exactly. Or you hear somebody outside and it's about a meter, you don't know whether or not that's MLG and W coming to cut you off.
Right.
Or when your check comes in, you don't know if it's going to be garnished for 25% of it. And so all of those things are what we call, they are just nerve-wracking. And it takes away your peace.
Right.
Peace is what you want. And bankruptcy, and I always say this too there, make no mistake about it, if you don't need a bankruptcy, the Payne Law Firm is not going to be pushing a bankruptcy on you.
Right. I mean, you I mean, you know, we're not trying to get people to do bankruptcy that don't need
not.
bankruptcy. But I mean, if you see the handwriting on the wall, look, if every paycheck you trying to figure out how much you're going to have left to even get something to eat.
Yes.
Or to buy groceries.
Mostly medicine for elderly
Medicine,
people. There.
yeah, all
so,
that stuff.
So we don't want you to make that decision about not taking your medicine because you're trying to pay.
You got bills to be paying, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you know, living on the street or die because I don't have my medication.
Right.
You know, so I mean, that's a dilemma that nobody wants to be in.
That's exactly right.
I mean, what's that? That ain't even a rock and a hard, that's rock and death. Shoot, that ain't even a rock and a hard place. That's rock and death.
And unfortunately, they're still going to create another account that somebody's going to have to come up with to try to put you in the ground.
Right.
So the relief comes from the moment that a bankruptcy case is filed, because all collection activity must cease. That means no phone calls, no threats, no harassment, no garnishments, no repossessions, no foreclosures, no cutoffs, no nothing.
You know what, Drummond? Tell me about this, because a lot of people don't realize if you file bankruptcy and they actually have repossessed your car, what happens?
You can demand that it be returned.
Right. So
and now the only problem you will have there with that situation is if you bought it from Smuck's used cars. Smuck think that Smuck can do whatever he wants or her wants to do because they don't understand the law. And they're, you know, being an advocate for so-called underdog people, I'm gentle with them when I run across somebody like that, because I'm not really interested in sanctioning them. I'm not really interested in running up a big bill. But sometimes you don't have a choice because they are so arrogant many times when you just even try to call and have a phone conversation.
No, they won't even take it. They'll just hang up, or they won't take your call. They'll hang up on you.
Right. And they see your number, so they just pick it up. But see, that leads to sanctions. What ultimately, the very person you repossessed the car from might wind up owning your car lot.
Yeah.
Because the sanctions can be so severe, and sanctions are the same all around. That's what happened to your boy Giuliani, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
They sanctioned him so heavily until he's $148 million for.
Well, a lot of that's judgment though.
But then they turn around and put and they sanctioned him too, because it was so egregious how he did those people. So what we're trying to say today is that bankruptcy is an alternative that you and I can walk down this path. You know, like the yea, though I walk through the shadow. Yea, though you have once had a hard time with trying to manage your obligations, get with an experienced attorney, and you all walk together to your fresh start. And so the relief, I'm going to tell you what the relief comes in there. The relief comes in chapter 7, and 11, a 12, a 13, and a 9. Chapter 9 is for cities and municipalities. Sometimes a city may get it, and we have...
Well, it was Detroit. There was a Detroit scenario.
That's exactly right. And Puerto Rico was about to try to come out of their chapter 9. And so it's for cities and municipalities. The chapter 12 is for farmers, You know, with all this flooding that we're having now, there's going to be some farmers who are impacted by that. So they use 12. 11s, we're seeing a lot more 11s this year too, because they are just being
Business are just getting.
they were hit hard during the pandemic, and they thought that they could recover. But if you go all of that period of time and not have people coming in and out of your restaurant and stuff, it's really hard to overcome that.
It's
So
hard to overcome, and restaurants are tough anyway. That's a tough business, and then you get a pandemic.
That's
that makes it even tougher.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So the 11 is for businesses. The chapter 7 is for anyone can do a chapter 7. And so most of the times my clients consist of chapter 7 and chapter 13 filers. Okay? So the chapter 7 is the most expansive relief possible. A person can walk into the Payne Law Firm at 7 o'clock in the morning and be free and clear about, 3 hours later.
Yeah.
You walk away.
They'll be free and clear as soon as you can get that paperwork filed.
3 hours later.
And that's what the good thing people don't realize. It's electronic.
Electronic filing.
Yeah.
All they got to do
So I ain't got to go down there and try to find the clerk.
So I'm on the phone with the credit side. All right, now look, so and so and so and so. I got my hand on the button.
I get ready to pull the trigger right now.
I got my hand on the button, creditor. So it's left up to you. Do I push it, or are you willing to work with this person? And if they say, you know, they're not going to work with it, I just push the button. Electronic filing. It starts generating the paperwork just like that. It immediately goes nationwide, and so the automatic stays in effect. And I tell my clients.
And you say, hold on for a minute. And then when the number generates, you
Right,
say, hold on for a minute. Here's the bankruptcy case number. Here's the case number.
That's it.
Give it back. Give their car back.
That's exactly
Stop calling them.
That's exactly right.
You know, and you know, here's what it is.
That is exactly
Yeah.
right. And I tell my clients that once you hit that button, they can't even call your name real loud. You know what I'm saying? You know how sometimes they try to call your neighbors and have you seen anybody over there? Or, you know, stuff like that.
None of that can happen. Yeah, I mean, you can't clandestinely try to get around the automatic
That's
state.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's nationwide. And so, and a lot of times too, Daryl, say for instance, just a repossession. Say for instance, you procrastinate, don't come in, you know that they've been calling, you know that they've been looking for the vehicle, but you still, you know, you just still cruising. And you go to Kroger or you go to Walmart or somewhere, pull up in there.
And come out with your bag.
Right,
of
all of
You got a grocery cart, a cart full of groceries.
That's exactly right.
You know.
So you made a mistake.
And no car.
Yeah, you procrastinated and didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then so we just file and then they have to turn it over.
Right.
So, and that's okay. We don't mind doing it. And then if they're still looking for it and they don't know that you did file, and so it's pre-petition. A pre-petition filing stops the repossession, but if they happen to do it post-petition, they have to put it back on the truck and bring it back to you.
So
You don't even have to go get it.
Yeah, pre-petition.
Yeah.
You got to go get it.
Yeah, normally you got to go get
Yeah.
it. But if they pull it post-petition,
Oh, they got
they're gonna be honking the horn.
Yeah, because they should have never taken it. It happened, and there's a stay. You should have never happened.
That's exactly right.
You know,
what they want to take it to the job. They want to bring it to the office. What they want to bring it to, because they know that they have messed up. So and so we're not interested in a protracted, long litigation. So if they agree to bring it back, that's the end of it. So you have to start making your payments going forward. And the same thing too there happens with renters, unfortunately, for your clients. But a renter can take advantage of a Chapter 13 because what it does, it allows you, and I use this scenario all the time, when you first come in to see me, you are telling me your story. So like it's a motion picture. You're telling me your story, how, I tried to open a restaurant, or I tried to do a clothing store, Mr. Payne, and I was doing good, or whatever. So I'm just, I'm listening to your story. I'm just, laid back, listening to you, and let you go ahead and get it out. And then all of a sudden I ran into this bad spot, and that's okay. That's what we can do. We can fix it for you. And that's your pre-position story. But today, I'm taking a snapshot. All of that's included in your bankruptcy.
Right.
Tomorrow is post-petition. None of that is included. And so that's where your first start began. So sometimes people try to linger into the pre-petition area, and you can't. You got to be prepared to pay on time, every time, following the filing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because look, we're gonna let you fresh start.
Right.
But then we also, we want to change your mind.
That's exactly right.
Change your conduct.
That's exactly right.
Change how you do business. So because they also, one of the things that they require is a credit class, right?
Yes, it's called pre-petition credit counseling.
Okay.
Yes, you're exactly right. And that's a good point there. You have to have counseling to get in and counseling to get out.
Okay.
Because we want to, again, as you said, we want to change how you look at credit, debit, collections and stuff. We want you to start having a budget. So you'll know every dollar has a name that goes with it. And so we don't want you to continue with the same conduct after you've gone through the bankruptcy process. And so a Chapter 7 lasts 180 days at the max.
So you can, from beginning to end.
From start to finish, it can be 180 days. Sometimes, if it's just a simple, run-of-the-mill type bankruptcy case, you might be able to get out sooner than 120 days. And a Chapter 13 lasts 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, or 60 months. 60 months is the maximum time.
Does it, I guess the length of it determines what your payments are going to be?
That's exactly right. And the reason why we stretch it out for 60 months, so your payments will be lower.
Okay.
Because you can come out in 12 months if you can pay $12,000 a month. So what we do is we take your secured debt. There's three types of creditors mostly there. Mostly it's secured creditor, an unsecured creditor, or a priority creditor. Secured creditors are anybody that can come and take something away from you. Unsecured creditors is a credit card debt, hospital bills, repossessed cars. As long as you can't trace it to an item, it's going to be unsecured. The third type is a priority creditor. That's money for the IRS, city and county property taxes, court costs and fines, student loans, domestic support obligations, overpayments of Social Security. And we're seeing a lot of people now who got more money during the unemployment than they were entitled to. So those people are being hit with trying to recover those funds. But these new judges that we got, man, they have changed the whole scenario, period. The whole thing. Some of these things used to be just slam dunk. Credit to win. Credit to win. Credit, Memphis is probably the top credit collecting.
I bet it is, because they go down there and they say, you agree to this debt, and everybody always say, I do.
Stacks. In fact, I got a friend of mine, Cheeto.
Yeah, John.
I think John flies in.
He does fly himself in. The debtors have made him, have bought him a plane.
John, I'm sorry, somebody go tell.
Yeah,
Daryl O'Neal was talking about you.
John Daryl, hey, I'll see John. John and I are cool.
Oh, really?
John and I are cool.
He's a good guy.
He is,
and then the other boy is Buffalo.
Yeah.
You know Buffalo too?
I don't know Buffalo.
You know John Buffalo too.
Yeah.
And then
my daughter knows Buffalo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's an older guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I had to take a case over that she had, and he was on the other side, and you know, she was, you know, worried about, you know, because you know, those veteran lawyers forget more than you actually ever learn.
Right.
You know? So, you know, that was one of her newer cases, and
Okay.
she was a little weirded out by it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
John's a good, John Cheetah, John Buffalo, all those guys. I've been knowing them over the years.
Right,
You know, this
yeah.
is my 30th year now.
Right.
So I've been knowing them over the years, and I can pretty much pick up the phone and get some things done. You know, that most new lawyers wouldn't be able to do.
Right. I can do that with John.
Yeah.
Yeah. John. I mean, I could, you know, Cheeto brother.
Right.
I mean, I could do that with him. I mean, it's been a while since I've had any cases where John has been on the other side.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a time. I mean, you know, I used to have a few more, and you know, that's how we kind of got cool.
Right.
You know, early
Right.
on, when I first started, when I was working for Alicia, I would, man, I'd take all kinds of cases.
Of course.
I was trying to learn.
Of course.
And learn the system and learn
Right.
the courts.
Right.
And then, you know, again, there's the best way to practice is to get down there and do it.
That's
you know.
what it means,
Yeah.
practicing
Yeah.
law.
Yeah.
Because
So-
the only way to really learn, and you know what? And you're going to get your butt kicked here and there when you first start out.
Right.
But don't take it as a butt kicking. It's a lesson learned.
It's the practice.
Yeah.
You're practicing.
It's a lesson learned.
But, you know, and then we'll get close on this note here, though, Jerome. The other thing is that, and you hit it on the head, everything, you can't bankrupt everything. There are certain things that the court has restrictions
That's exactly
that prevent you from bankrupting.
Right.
You know, and I think that, you know, that's some of the, you know, of course, Julian Allen knows that as a lawyer. He already, you know, but he's running to some of that right now. There's some things that he's not going to be able to wipe off.
And you know, he did file
Oh, yeah, he
a
did.
bankruptcy.
He did.
And someone else filed a bankruptcy too. You know, the NRA tried to file a bankruptcy and they got kicked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got kicked out. That was a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the president is resigning because he got some legal stuff coming up.
From the NRA?
Yeah, what's his name? D-Lar from something.
Yeah.
D-Lar somebody is his name. So, so bankruptcy does have some real strict rules that if you're caught not telling the truth, you can wind up in a bad situation.
Yeah.
In any federal situation, when you sign that oath, there are some strict penalties that
Yeah,
go along
you
with it.
and it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
But you can be prosecuted for that
For
stuff,
sure.
you know.
For sure.
So, all right. So hopefully we gave you some good information. Unfortunately, nobody took advantage of the call line. We always throw that call line out there so you can, you know, again, it doesn't matter what question you have or what we're talking about. Answer or we, you know, took care of whatever your concerns were in regards to bankruptcy. We'll come back next week and we'll have a different show. If you got questions or concerns, you can, you know, send Angel an email, you know, any of those types of things, and we'll answer your question on air, or you can call in. Anytime, call in.
Right.
All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you back next week.
You talking about